Excuse me. I was singing in my car earlier. My throat's all messed up. Anyways, welcome back to Doom Patrol. This is Season 2, Episode 4, Sex Patrol. Yeah, I'm guessing, just based on the thumbnail, we're going to get a lot of the Danny's Inns, and Flex, and hopefully we can solve what's going on with, who was it? Danny. Danny friggin' snapped in half. Yeah, not much to say. Let's just get into it.
Can we go outside together? I could see the traffic lights and everything else up there where Danny is.
Yeah.
Danny's everywhere. Wishes.
Bruh, this man
can
needs
have
to
a
be
terrible
stopped.
cost.
I like how she has Dorothy from Wizard of Oz outfit on.
Hi there.
The hangman's beautiful daughter just doesn't exactly scream leadership potential.
She can fucking paint. Which means she has one fucking talent, which is one more than you.
Great. Good. Love the confidence.
But who pays for everything? What do you eat? Where do you sleep?
I don't know. That's not my job.
Whose job is it? The lady with the sun for a head? Somehow I doubt she's pre-approved for a fucking bank loan.
Oh my god. Come on, Rita. Do it. Do it.
Did it work? Yes. Yes, it worked perfectly.
Do you think you can lend me a hand with this? Yeah? All right. Just be sure to hold on extra tight. Okay?
Can I make her fly or something? Because she has
Ready?
wings on, so. I hate it. I hate the ears. Ugh. Like, I don't know, is that good or not? That's cute. I'm glad that Rita's like taken to Dorothy.
Dorothy, I turn my back for 1 minute and you get into mischief.
Rita
fuck?
said I was old enough.
I will.
Sorry. Everybody listen.
Niles, I gotta have
This
words.
isn't working. Danny is not whole yet.
It's because you guys aren't
We got to
partying.
turn the party up a
Yeah.
notch.
You're just like having a
And I got a new
lounge.
friend who's got just the trick to do it.
Me of Danny.
What, now is he gonna play piano now?
Come with me.
I was gonna say, I'm like, is this Willy Wonka?
And you'll be what we'll see. Will defy explanation. Wish to be.
That was a cute scene. You stay out. You're just bringing the party down.
But
It's...
the party's just getting started.
Come on,
It's-
Niles. Niles, it's one freaking night.
Never trust an art major to leave the house. Farewell, unfuckables. Au revoir, dickless robots. Nobody here would know a good time if it slapped them on the
Hello?
ass.
Is this Scarlet
Wow.
Harlan? She is. I had a feeling she would. Because I think her and Flex have a thing in the comics, right?
I bet you're fit as fuck under those bandages.
Thanks. If I take them off, everyone here will die. Just completely melt and die. So, yeah.
Aw. I mean, he's right though, like... You can't handle me at my nuclear...
My mind is completely blank.
That's it?
That's it.
Head empty.
Remember that time?
Just talking more of a...
You did that thing? When we were all together on Daniel Street.
Yeah, I ripped a hole into the white space between dimensions.
No. Before that part.
Look at how good...
In this room.
Look at how good they are.
You said
That's
it.
him. That's
I
her.
can't
Like,
control my powers
this is
unless I let go.
perfect casting.
And
I can't tell if she likes him or if she's just using him. Is this actually a thing?
Ready?
this won't work.
What? Jared Leto?
Brave. She's the first person I've been with since my accident.
Been with? You mean beep booped? Good for you. People still make jokes behind my back and to my face. My trans sisters still being murdered. Human beings are cruel to people that are different from them. He hated the fact that I was human, just like him. That's what disturbed him. That we somehow breathe the same air and walk the same streets.
Okay, it's all good. I am high as fuck, and you are a dancing shadow with the weird thingy on your head. It's all good. It's all good.
Are you sure I should be seeing this?
No bedtime.
I'm missing my kid's science fair for this.
Hey, HQ says we go. We gotta go.
Talk to me, Cuddles.
These readings are off the charts.
Torture.
I need a no bullshit assessment.
What is happening in this episode?
Everyone take 3 steps back and keep your hands where we can see them.
What the hell are you?
Baby, we're the sex men.
What?
Kiss. She's torture. We're here to save the world from a paranormal sexual event.
I have so many questions.
No time for that, ma'am. You're all in serious danger in the entire world.
Lieutenant Kiss, Lieutenant Torture. I never thought I'd see the sex men at my door.
Wish they were under better circumstances, Dr. Calder.
Hold up. You know these clowns?
Consider yourself lucky you don't.
Better not. Hello?
What the fuck? What's happening? I have no fucking clue what's happening right now, and I really mean that this time.
If that baby
For
cries,
real.
it's the end of the world!
What? Danny the Tire?
I don't get it.
Don't judge, Teapot.
The forgotten ones. The outsiders.
Young Justice Outsiders confirmed.
Everyone,
We all outsiders. Larry. Vic, come on, say something.
You're standing here for like 5 minutes, man. Can I get a grilled cheese?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Got tired of letting my trauma
Is he
run
wearing
the
like a
life.
Nightwing hoodie? Is
On
that
a
what I'm
hill.
getting there?
Is anyone gonna say anything about the fact that Rita's G-spot almost ended the fucking world?
That's the cliff I missed.
Did you mean what you said? Am I beautiful?
Darling, please. You have other talents. Focus on those.
Rita, no! So, with Dorothy, I understand Candlemaker's point of view. She didn't go through with killing Danny. So, Candlemaker's upset. Doesn't want to, On the one hand, that's good. That means hopefully Candlemaker will leave us alone for a little bit. I don't think that's the end of Candlemaker. But hopefully for a little bit. We don't have to worry about that. On the bad side, Dorothy's just a freaking... She's a child. Why? um, it sucks that she... I do not have words today. But I'll try and get through this review section. So Niles coddling Dorothy, obviously, one of the major points of this episode, how he's imprisoning her, and even Danny to an extent is sort of the, not the willful, but, the necessary evil of holding Dorothy hostage on the street. Obviously, going forward, that isn't an option anymore. Danny sort of took that out of the equation, which is good. I'm glad that Danny had some, what's the word? Autonomy. Sticking up to Niles, but also the fact that they're, I'm assuming, transforming into the ambulance. I'm pretty sure Danny turns into an ambulance. So, kind of a hint towards that in the future down the line. But, the way I interpret it, at least, is that Danny could be a street, but instead they're choosing to be an automobile of some sort. It's a very symbolic thing. Street is sort of stationary, stuck in its ways, whereas an automobile, you can use it to travel, move forward. You know, uh, like I said, I don't have words today, but you can fill in the blanks there. There was a lot of weird stuff this episode, and I don't use that term lightly. Weird, this show has been weird at times, but I think this is one of the few, I don't know if it's the only episode, but one of the few episodes where I literally don't know what just happened, what I just watched. The X-Men, obviously, I'm assuming riffing on the X-Men, which is doubly ironic because the X-Men are not ripping, but they were created after the Doom Patrol. I think roughly the same time period, but I'm pretty sure Doom Patrol came first, if only just by a couple months. So the irony there. The fact that like Ghostbusters too, I don't, I don't know. Felt a bit convoluted, sort of. MacGuffin-y, with Jane, Dr. Harrison having to go and find out what's going on with Cuddles. It was a weird choice there, but whatever. We got there at the end of the day. I'm just thinking of Diane Guerrero. No, sorry. What happened? Literally, I don't know what happened. Okay, Rita with her mother. I did not see that coming. I did not see us revisiting her or Larry's parents. I saw Larry revisiting the storyline with his kid, but I did not expect for Rita to be having to deal with her parents and the trauma related there. So I'm very interested in seeing where that leads us this season. Obviously, it's integral to her powers, since Flex said she has some sort of mental block or something related to that. So I'm curious exactly what she has to get over, or come to terms with, um, regarding that. Other than just the trauma of seeing what she saw. Um, the only thing I can think of off the bat is that uh, maybe Rita feels inferior because she didn't get to where she was through her acting capabilities. It was just because of her sex appeal and because of her looks and stuff. Um, and then she basically, I think she'll extrapolate that from the fact that her mom had to sleep with the producer to get her the part. So now she's gonna think back to all those times when she had to sleep with producers, and she called in favors and whatever because she was an attractive woman in the 60s, um, right, the 50s, and I think she's gonna start doubting that her natural ability, basically, which is gonna obviously relate to her powers, because when she gets too emotional, she blobs out, but she has to have control over them to be able to stretch. So I can see that maybe happening, but I am very excited to see how that goes. April Albee did a interview on DC Universe. You can look at the articles, but basically she was saying she's very excited for episode 6 or 7, somewhere in there. Um, so I'm expecting a major revelation with her character to happen in one of those episodes. Um, that's enough about Rita. The Shadow Demon, what was it called? Sex Demon? Like I said, I don't know what's going on. Okay. I think that's just one of those one-off villains again. Um, maybe we are building up to a Brotherhood of Evil, though. Now that I think about it, we've been introduced to a couple of crazy characters. Um, so perhaps we'll get to some sort of, maybe not this season, but maybe they are just sort of throwing us a bunch of villains so that, like, down the line we can be like, and here's our Brotherhood of Evil. Um, uh, and then now that I think about it, okay, so the villains here they've ranged from actual threats to just comical ones, but comparing to the Teen Titans animated show and the Doom Patrol there, comparing to the Brotherhood of Evil there, I feel like I want to say Teen Titans had more nefarious, darker, evil villains, but we did just have Red Jack last episode, okay? And Mr. Nobody last season had done terrible things, so it's not fair for me to say that. Um, but I mean, when we get villains like Animal, Vegetable, Mineral Man, we get people like Beard Hunter, this sex demon thing, which, to be fair, was a credible threat. Same with the Eye, the D-Creator, whatever. Credible threats, kind of crazy villains. So it just makes me wonder, looking back on Teen Titans again, are like General Mortis, and I think her name is Madame Rouge. I know the Brain and Monsieur Mala are obviously very tough and diabolical villains. We've seen them in Young Justice, but those other two, I'm curious to see if they will show up in the show in any capacity. How nefarious are they really? Because maybe that was just a tonal thing to choose all those characters and have them that way in Teen Titans versus here. We got an Easter egg of the Brain and Monsieur Mala last season, so I'm wondering if we'll get payoff this season or in the future. Hopefully we get a season 3. I'm rambling enough about villains, but it was just interesting that again, I just feel like this show, while it has bad guys, it's usually not the bad guy we're worried about. We're more worried about our the character's internal struggles. Um, but I mean, then again, we have Candlemaker from Dorothy, so it's a crapshoot. Uh, what else? Characters, we talked about Rita already. Jane, pretty simple fix for her this episode. On the one hand, I'm wondering, will it last? The Underground accepting Jane as their rightful primary, or is this just a temporary thing because they're all kind of weirded out by what's going on? How permanent of a fix is this? But also, I don't see this being a long-term struggle in the way that it was presented here, where she wasn't on top. Let me rephrase this. I think the struggle with Jane being the primary is not over yet. I think we're still going to have conflict there, but I don't think we're going to be in a situation where she's stuck in the underground again, because we've already kind of dealt with it. We've already resolved that issue. If we retread that ground, it's going to be very cyclical. It might get boring quickly. So I'm foreseeing, like, I don't know, maybe other alters don't want to come up now, and Jane is stuck up there. I don't know. But I just feel like we aren't going to really spend more time underground with Jane. I think it's going to be the other characters underground still. Yeah. With Cliff, I mean, I don't really see what progress he's made this episode. It wasn't really about him, to be fair, so there's that. But I didn't really see anything. He was a bit more normal, quote-unquote normal this episode, but that was also because he was on drugs, and I don't know if that's if that's a long-term solution to his character problem, which is his anger and his I don't. It's not the right word, but narcissism. Um, him believing that he is not wrong, infallible, and not wanting to take the blame on himself. So we need to really get to the root of that, I think, by the end of the season. Um, with Larry, with a lot of these characters, really, it feels like we didn't resolve any issues this episode. They kind of just stagnated through, but we needed to solve the problem with Danny, so that was the main focus of this episode, which is understandable. Dorothy was the main focus, and Rita, I think, were really the big three characters that we got to develop and make some progress with. So as far as Larry goes, I didn't really see too much of him doing anything this episode other than being mopey. If anything, it's him starting to, in his mind, realize that he needs to make a change. Um, you know, he's kind of, last season he was kind of open to the idea of moving forward and sort of living in the present now instead of being stuck in the past. But this season, I think he needs to learn how to do that, to take those steps forward. And he was trying to with his son, and then he obviously got sidetracked, kidnapped, and all that stuff. So I'm curious to see if he will make a reconnection with his son, if he's going to try and find, a partner or something. They're kind of hinting at that maybe at the dance scene. But just him moving forward and stopping moping and, stop regretting his past and just starting to move in a positive direction towards the future. Um, with Vic, I'm not really sure what they're doing with his. It kind of just feels like they're making a love story for him, which I don't know. I'm not digging it so far, like I said last time, but maybe by the end of the season I'll like it. Um, Morally Corrupt brought up some good points to him that, um, everyone has a past. It's what you do with the future. That was kind of a central theme too, was that, you have to learn from your mistakes. Same with Danny and Niles. You can't just go back to the way things were. Sometimes things change and you have to move forward. You have to move in a different direction. And so, so Vic has to sort of come to terms with the fact that if he finds somebody, that likes him and cares for him and makes whatever he feels good about them. You gotta chase it, and cliche love story stuff. I think that's everybody. Chief, really just a dick this episode. But a really nice scene with the Willy Wonka song. That was probably my favorite moment of this episode. And yeah, I've been in a weird funk this whole week, so I apologize if this reaction is weird or it's not engaging or anything. But I mean, I don't know. This is a fucking weird episode. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Do you have anything to correct me on? Do we know if there's more episodes or what? It goes to 9 still, so I don't know if that's this season or if we're getting an extended season like these CW shows, where you like that. So whatever. I'm just my brain hurts. I'm gonna go do something else. Thanks for watching. I'll talk with you guys in the comments below, and see you next week for the next episode.